Hi, everybody. Um, yeah, it was an honor to be invited because it's really cool just kind of coming back and um, yeah, I was at kickoff as a scholar myself. It seems not that long ago. Um, so I guess I'll kind of share my story, kind of like everyone else. Um, so back when I started in Exeter, I was starting as a first gen student and also as a historically excluded person in the field of STEM. So things were pretty unclear for me when I first started, and I just found myself wondering, like, what the heck lied ahead. And I really knew my desire to contribute to our world. I just didn't know where to start. Um, and it was hard because, like, my path to college and eventually to where I am was just, it was very I guess, curvy, lots of false starts. Um, and, upon completing high school, I faced economic insecurity and a bit of a lack of family support. And so I just needed to move away and pretty much got a job um, in summary. And so I was working for a while. I worked in AmeriCorps. I served in elementary schools. That was kind of nice for a while, but I also knew, like, I knew somewhere in the back of my head that I wanted to go to college. I'd always been a curious person. And so eventually I ended up at PSU, or well, prior to that, very importantly, um, I was at PCC here in Portland Community College. Um, and there I basically had planned to just do a lab tech sort of program because, like I said, I was always curious, always liked learning, but also I needed a job. So I thought, okay, that's what I'll do. And then um, there was like, there were a few flyers like around about Exito at PCC. And then I had a professor um, at PCC that was actually in my first like science, like lab course in college that mentioned it to me in passing. Um, and so I thought, okay, maybe this kind of thing is for someone like me. Um, and I hadn't thought that before. Um, and I know, you know, for some of us who, if any of you may have been in any sort of a similar situation, you wonder sometimes when you don't have that stability, like, how can I posture about scientific ideas when I'm just worried about survival? I'm just worried about getting by, and higher education has been inaccessible for many of us. And so when I got into Exito, I didn't realize that when people were talking about PIs and labs, it like confused me. I thought at first they were saying private investigators. So no, it's not that. Primary investigator. So yeah, I mean, once I got there, I learned about different degrees and, I was worried about paying for college and, getting by. And so I could get tuition help and I learned about different scholarships and, through these awesome workshops. And I see some of my old workshop leaders here. Really cool to see you all here. You all taught us some amazing stuff and you definitely, like, for me, you helped me articulate a lot of the things I kind of knew about diversity, equity, and inclusion, but I couldn't quite like get the words there. So it was good going into school, being well versed in that as well. It's been very important to me. And my mentors at Exito inspired me to be a mentor myself. So I definitely, like, after I completed Exito, I just had to be a peer mentor. That was really fun. And actually, I am actually mentoring again. I'm mentoring a high school student now. Just realized that. But anyway, so yeah, it was so important because I was connected to all these valuable opportunities. And I mean, at that point, I hadn't even thought of, okay, I could get a 4-year degree, but I was getting there. Okay. And I chose a major, transferred to PSU, and I ended up graduating with my bachelor's of science in biochemistry. And so I was like first person in my family, and I was, so excited. But also in the process, I was being told, hey, you can do research. You can, you know, all of you scholars here, like there's a reason you're here. You are smart, curious, determined people. And maybe it just hasn't like connected to you yet. And that was my case. It hadn't connected in me yet. So finally, while in undergrad, made the decision I'll apply to grad school because I really want to do research. I know that's me. I mean, I was convinced this is my identity. Even if you don't see people like you all the time that look like you doing research, it's you. That is you. I'm a big dork. Like it makes sense. Like, but yeah, as time went on, I applied while I was still an undergrad, and then I ended up where I am now. I'm currently in a PhD program. I'm at Harvard, and I'm in this biological and biomedical sciences program that I love. Still rotating. I don't have like a lab home. So when you're rotating, you're just like trying out labs to see if you want to stay for your PhD. So right now I'm in a gut microbiome lab. It's exciting, a lot of feces. But I'm doing computational work mostly, so, but so I can avoid that. But anyhow, so yeah, I think it just was a matter of knowing that I can invest in myself, and I can do these things that I didn't think I could. And yeah, we can do that. And here we are, even though it's virtual, we're still doing our thing in 2020. I'm doing the PhD thing, mostly virtual in 2020. So, I just want to say to, any of the scholars out there, just keep believing in yourself and know like the people here and the leaders in the program, they really do believe in you. It's amazing if it's the first time in your life you really feel that kind of support, definitely like relish in that. And if you struggle with this as well, I wanted to mention, the imposter syndrome that some of us can get. It's not our fault. It's because of the system that we're in. It's made to make you feel inferior, unfortunately. But the more that equity and inclusion is worked on, I think the better it will be. And you're here because you showed either some sort of commitment to bettering our world, or you showed that despite what boundaries you faced, you kept going. And so you've already done something really great, and just keep going. But anyway, thank you all for listening to me ramble on. And I really wish you all the best in your future. Thanks so much for having me.